Well, hello, everybody. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? We didn't really do a mic check before this, but I think we're all good. Hi, my name is Chris Freytag. You guys know that. This is Get Healthy UTV live Q&A that we do monthly. I have Sam Cam with me today.
Hello.
Hey, how are ya?
How are you?
Good. And Shelley Hawkins with us today, one of our Get Healthy UTV trainers. Hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
You look so beautiful today. Like you did your hair.
Yes.
You know, when you see a fitness instructor with their hair curled and wearing semi-normal clothes, you're like, who are you?
True that. And you see them in the worst places, like especially members, and you look decent and you're like, hey, hello. And they say, well, we don't recognize you. You know, your hair is clean and you do have nice clothes on. So,
right.
Yeah.
And you have some makeup on and whatever
We
it
do
might
wash
be.
up.
So we washed up for all of you today. So here we are with our live Q&A. We do this monthly. You guys, if you go to the gethealthyutv.com website and click on free videos, you will see the live Q&As. There are, I don't even know how many, 30, 40
There's
of them.
a lot, yeah.
There's a lot of them. We've been doing this monthly. There's probably more than that for years. So if you ever want to rewatch one and just, maybe you're road tripping and you got an hour in the car and that would be your podcast. We answer a lot of fun questions. So we're going to get right into the questions today. If you are a Get Healthy UTV member, we just want you to know we love you and we thank you so much for being a loyal member. It has been really an interesting year with the pandemic. More than ever, people are working out at home. It makes sense. It saves time. It's fun. It's easy. And you guys have been so supportive and we have tried to deliver a ton of new workouts. Just to throw this out there, if you didn't know, the gold members now are getting 2 new workouts a week. It used to be live only on Mondays. We now go live on Monday and Friday. So that's kind of a new thing. It's kind of fun because we get to do more workouts and more
together,
variety. Yeah. But you guys are building up a huge library. If you have any questions about Get Healthy UTV, DM Sam or I. Sam gets mad when I say that.
DM her.
Because her DMs are so deep. But you're so awesome. So just let us know if you want to have a $20 code to join for the first year. Okay, let's get into it, Sam. She's our moderator.
Yep. So kind of a fun question. We have some of those thrown in here. How did all three of us, but specifically you two, get into fitness? How did you decide to get into fitness?
Go ahead, Shelley. How did you get into fitness? What got you?
I kind of rolled into it.
Well, you're very international too. So.
Yeah, well, I started, I've always loved to move, but it wasn't kind of fitness like we know it nowadays. It wasn't kind of group fitness. And then when I was in high school, I had an eating disorder. And I think I went through this before, but I just felt that once I got that in control, I felt that if I added exercise to my eating, my logical eating, that I could then maintain my weight and maintain my health. And basically, it just progressed from there. I decided then I wanted to qualify and get my teachers. And we kind of rolled. I've lived around the world teaching. And really, it's something that I don't think will ever not be a part of my life.
So you grew up in South Africa.
Yes.
And eating disorders, I I was in high school in the early 80s.
Right.
They were just starting to become prevalent. Like it wasn't as big of a deal. Like we didn't really understand them back then, which was also part of the problem is that people didn't know what to do. So I'm really proud of you. Like you figured it out and found movement as a vehicle.
Just to get healthy, right? I mean, it was a slippery slope. Don't get me wrong. You know how it is. You kind of get into that where we had started to go. We were in high school. I was in my junior year. We were doing a production. I love to be on the stage. This is something I love to sing and dance. But we were in the Grease, and I was Rizzo. And I was in the Grease.
I love this.
I love that you were Rizzo. We are finding out a lot about you.
Well, my father was so upset because he wanted me to be Sandra Dee, and then I was the naughty girl, and he was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, I was Rizzo. I was on stage. We started to kind of have performances. I wasn't probably eating or snacking as much as I did before that and started to lose a few pounds, and people would say, whoa, you look good. Slippery slope. I look good. I can look better. I can look better. I can look even better. And it just spiraled from there until it was so bad that my parents were like, okay, hospital. It didn't get to that. I kind of pulled myself up, added the exercise, and haven't looked back. Seriously.
I love that you say that because I feel like the messaging back in the 80s was skinny is what was in.
Right.
And now strong is the new skinny. We've heard that.
Yes.
I think women and young girls, and this is a message we want to really portray to our daughters and young girls out there, is that strong is beautiful. Like
Indeed.
strong women to me are beautiful. But anyway, I'm off course. So that's super interesting. And so just tell everybody, how many countries have you taught in? I find it interesting.
I qualified in South Africa. We moved to Switzerland and I taught there, and I had to teach in German. So that was talk about challenge on top of challenge on top of challenge. And we had to obviously learn the language first. And then from Switzerland, back in South Africa, I then fell pregnant with my daughter, and she was high risk. I was high risk pregnancy, so stopped everything. I put on literally 78 pounds. And on my 5'4", I looked like a little elephant. It was brilliant. But so then we moved from there to Miami, didn't teach anything. I started again in Dubai. I taught in Mexico City. I taught not so much in Connecticut. Michigan, I joined our lifetime where I met Chris here. And then Chicago, I worked as well. And then
now here.
Yeah.
Wow. So I love how she says she qualified. We call it certified.
Yes.
Qualified. I love it. You're brilliant. And as you guys are getting to know Shelley, she's absolutely hilarious. She is not only an amazing trainer, but she adds some fun and humor. And listen, if there isn't fun and humor in workouts, forget it.
Yeah.
And then quickly, I got into fitness, kind of similar, like back in the 70s and 80s. Fitness wasn't a thing. There were no health clubs. There wasn't really group fitness. It started in the 80s. To the best of my knowledge, Jane Fonda was the impetus of it all. And I just knew that movement made me feel good. I had this connection that when I ran, I became a runner, I could clear my head. It was almost like my own mental therapy without knowing it.
Right.
And so I stayed very active through college running. I had a running buddy who's still one of my besties. And then after college, group fitness became a thing. It was aerobics, and I started going to aerobics, and I fell in love with it. And I thought, okay, I'm in the front row every day. Why don't I just get certified and start teaching it? So that was in 1989. I started teaching, and then moved forward in personal training and all that stuff. So I really loved it. And that's where I came. But Sam, you always loved fitness too, because you were a dancer. Tell a little bit.
Yes. So I was a dancer growing up through college, and then kind of post-college, I needed something to keep me active and kind of more of like that mental, grind that you were talking about. I fell in love with Pilates and also running after. Similar situation in the front row, just love keeping my body busy. And some of my friends have always asked, like, how do you go to the gym and not think about your to-do list? I'm like, that's the one time that I don't think about my to-do list. And so I also just, love that motivation to motivate others. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Right. So Sam was a real live, she was on the D1 dance team. Got to give her credit. And a kinesiology major. So
Nice.
very, very knowledgeable. But it's so interesting, whether you're working out at home or wherever you're working out. I mean, fitness is that one place where you can kind of let it go. And today, I was saying this out loud, and Sam and I were talking about this. I said, when you deal with hard things during a workout, when you pick up heavy weights and you're doing things that are harder than, you're huffing and puffing and stuff, it just sets you up to do harder things in life.
Yes.
And I think about that a lot when I encounter something hard in my job or with my family or relationships. It brings me back to my workout, and I think, if I can do push-ups, I can handle this. If I can do burpees, I can handle this a hiccup that I'm going through. I find that to be super interesting.
Absolutely.
True. It translates into real life. It
Yeah.
really does. And
Yeah.
I think it helps you mentally, physically, and in every other area of your life, just to get that workout in no matter what.
Another fun question. Chris, where does your name, what's your full name? Is it actually Chris?
Christine. My dad still calls me Christine. I went by Christine for a while, but and then Chrissy. A lot of my neighbors called me Chrissy, but fell upon Chris.
Okay. Here are some more of the fitness questions. How do you protect your wrists when using weights?
You mean weight bearing on the wrist?
Both, probably. Picking
And
up
with the
dumbbells
weights.
and with your...
Oh, that's a great question, because lately I've had a lot of problems wrists, and I keep thinking, arthritis. You don't kind of know. I actually, at the moment, and I've just discovered this, hand massages.
Wow.
I've been going to them. There's a place in our local mall, and they do a 20-minute or a 30-minute hand massage, and it is amazing. It kind of pops all the whatever's in there, because at the end of a week, I'm kind of like this, and I feel like my hands they feel like they really are stuck in a position.
Well, when you think about our feet and our hands, you have a quarter of the bones in your body in your feet. There's actually 52 bones in your feet, and then think of all your hands. That really makes sense to massage.
Right.
And get some movement. One of the other things I think about with weights is that I'll coach this a lot, where I see people moving from the wrist instead of using the muscle, or they're doing something funky with their wrists with heavy weights, think about like almost gluing 2 rulers on your wrists. And when you're doing your weight bearing exercise, you aren't flexing and moving those wrists with all that heavy weight. Because when you got 10-pound, 15-pound weights in your hands, you don't want to be going like this.
No.
You do a wrist roll with a 5-pound weight, but not with a 15. So you have to be really conscious. I also think that you have to build up to your strength on your push-ups and planks, right?
Definitely.
I've seen women wearing, women and men, but wearing wrist braces too. Just the concept of compression. So compression is giving a little hug to a part of the body that needs attention if it's feeling inflamed. So you can even get little compression sleeves, like seriously at the drugstore, but of course on Amazon, and they would give you a little relief maybe.
Absolutely. Can you tell us what you do to get toned, sleek arms? What is the best exercise for arms?
Toned, sleek arms. Well, one of the things about arms is, when women go, I want my arms to be toned, I'm like, you have to lift weights. And they're like, I don't want to. I'm like, well, you have to. Because food fuels your muscle. Protein helps recover and feed your muscles for the next workout, but protein does not make muscle. The only thing that makes muscle is doing the work. So in order to tone your arms, you have to train the front and the back, bicep, tricep. And that's why it's good to do a whole bunch of other things too, because bicep and tricep are the helper muscles for so many exercises. But you have to break down those muscles. You have to feel fatigue. I always kind of use the analogy, and I'll be interested to hear you, Shelley, but I use the analogy of like, if you're going like this, and you can think about your grocery list and stuff. It's not heavy enough. Go a little heavier where you feel that muscle fatigue and you think, holy moly, I can barely do another one. Then do your tricep exercises. But you got to do, bicep, tricep a couple times a week. Heavy, feel consistent, feel a little sore. Like my triceps are sore right now to get that.
And add in the shoulders. Shoulders are beautiful. And there's such an easy muscle group to actually get results from. And what I've been doing lately, actually, strength training, is I start and I use maybe 3 sets of weights. And I'll use the heaviest set that I've got, and I'll do maybe 12 reps. Slow, though. Slow and controlled. Because to your point, we can do that all day, every day. Slow and controlled. Full range of motion. Put those down. Take a breather. Go into a medium set. Put those down, lighter set. And you work your way up and down and up and down. I've been doing that in the strength training classes. I want to tell you something. Not only do I feel it, I see it. And that's important too.
And this brings up a good question, because in our Facebook group, a lot of times, and I love it. I mean, the conversation in our Facebook group is amazing.
It's so amazing.
It is. You guys enlighten us. We love it. But a lot of times someone will say, well, what weights are you using? Well, what weights are you using? It really depends. I mean, when I teach a live class, I look out in the sea of people and think, okay, there are people who are 5'2" and very small boned and slight. There are people who are bigger boned and maybe were athletes and already have a lot of muscle on their body. I mean, it's also individual. Everybody in the room doesn't have to use a 15-pound weight. Some people are using 8-pound weights and they are totally feeling it. So you have to own it. You have to feel muscle fatigue. I always say, get familiar with that fatigue feeling of like, holy cow, I can barely do another one.
And then give us 4 more.
Yeah.
And then stop.
Also kind of going off of that. So if you're doing a workout and you start, is it better to start heavy and then if you're feeling fatigue, drop down to like lighter weights, or start with lighter weights and then maybe pick up heavier ones?
I always coach heavy. You're heavy, and to your point, my heavy is going to be very different from Chris, very different from Sam, very different from, and we have a lot of 60, 70, 80-year-olds that walk into class and go, I cannot pick up a heavy weight. Their heavy weight is maybe 8, and that is a beautiful thing. You want to start in your mind, your heaviest. For me, I love that. Muscle fatigue, slip it down, maybe add a few more reps in the medium set, add a few more reps in the lighter set, but you want to go to fatigue. You want to go till you feel you cannot do anymore, and that's not failure. That is so much success.
Right. So drop set, start heaviest, and then drop down. And I always say, don't stop, just drop down. Once you hit that point where like, holy cow, I can't do this with 15s anymore. Drop down to your 12s, drop down to your 10s. It's not failure. It's called muscle failure fatigue. It's not failure. It's muscle failure, which is awesome.
And I think it's something to keep in mind too. Every day is going to be different. Like depending if you got enough sleep, what you ate the day before, like some days you can pick up 20s and then the next day you're like, ooh, I'm really feeling it. You can pick up maybe 12s, and that's okay. Like you don't need to pick up those heavy weights every single day. It's different.
It depends on the type of workout. That's why we offer you so much variety. When we're doing like a bar workout where you're moving and you're pulsing and it's lighter weights, like that's muscle endurance and that's So good. And muscle endurance is really hard for me personally because I don't do as much of it. So that dun, 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 like, oh my God, it kills me. But then some days pick up the heavyweights, like train strength and endurance, change it up during the week. That's why we create calendars for you. That's why we do, so many different workouts so that you don't have to think about it. You can just press play and you're going to be doing a lot of great cross training.
Jumping kind of into that comment, we have Teresa. She is a new member and she's kind of asking, where do I start?
Very good question. So one thing that I've noticed, like, and Sam and I constantly answer questions, is like when you become a new member, you get a welcome email that we have taken a lot of time. Sam and I have taken a lot of time on that welcome email to make sure it has every link you need to get started. We have an area called Tech Tips, and in the Tech Tips, so you go to free videos, you go to Tech Tips, it shows you how to stream on a big screen TV, whether you're using Apple TV, Roku, Fire, or whatever it is. How to navigate the website, go through the whole website, figure that out. How to create an icon on your iPhone or your Android. How to deal with it if it's freezing, like all these different things to help you guys be successful. So please check out the Tech Tips area. But then get started by, first of all, join the Facebook group because, there's always some people are following calendars together and they're talking about workouts. But we really love the 28-day calendars because it gives you a plan, right?
Yes. And a plan is great to have, especially as a newbie. If you're new to group fitness or fitness in itself, I think the best thing is to follow that plan, or at your point, join the group, the fitness, because there's such
Join the Facebook
page. Yeah. There's such a community within that page, and they will guide you. You ask a question, they will get, obviously, Chris and Sam, they've got it. But if there's something missed, you look at the community page.
That group, it's a group.
I love
They help each other out. They follow calendars together. We answer questions. All of us do. The trainers, we go in and to the best of our ability. But, look at those calendars. Like, are you a beginner? Then I would suggest walking, or I'd suggest the beginner to buff, or I would suggest, we have a couple different beginner.
Get you started. Foundations is a good one.
And then if you're kind of an intermediate, or you're saying, I'm looking for some strength training, we might say go for serious, or is it called serious strength?
Yes.
Sam knows every single
Getting there.
So that would be the best way, I think.
Yeah. And then just a note on the calendars, on the top left, it'll say whether it's a beginner or not. And then I think in the top right, it'll say if it includes gold workouts. So,
right. Because we do have two memberships.
Yep.
Premium and gold. The top membership is gold. So some of the calendars are for gold members, some are for premium, or both.
And people always ask, like, if I'm only a premium member and I do a gold calendar, what do I do? Swap out some of those workouts that are gold that you might not have access, or upgrade to gold.
Right. Right.
Love that.
All right. We have a few people asking, good modification with wrist arthritis. Push-ups, tabletops. What are some of your modifications for those?
What do you tell people who tell you they can't do push-ups?
When it comes, they could always do chest presses.
Mm-hmm.
If
Flip over, then you're not weight bearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Chest presses, flies. You can also, I have a few older ladies in my classes that love to come and they need modifications. They'll do a push-up on the wall.
I love that.
They will put their hands on the wall and they will use, so it's not fully weight bearing, but you still have that motion into the pec major, pec minor.
Yeah, and any move that involves a plank, just go down to your forearm.
Yes.
Yeah, and take the time to either strengthen. I mean, arthritis is a real thing. Also, eat anti-inflammatory, do the best you can. Maybe a compression sleeve for the wrist would really help with that inflammation during exercise.
Shelley, kind of going after your comment of eating disorders, but all three of you, do you guys weigh yourselves on a regular basis or no?
I never do.
No.
It depends on how my jeans fit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep.
I mean, literally, it is how my jeans fit.
Yeah.
That is, and with the
scale.
pandemic, I literally have to put them on.
Yes.
I never wear them.
And even the stretchy ones, because when they've been washed and you put your stretchy jeans on, I mean, they give a bit, but when they're a little snug. And if they're too snug, you're like, okay, maybe I'll back off a little.
And
that's
you can kind of feel it. And my husband and I laugh because we do have a scale, but when we move it around the room, it changes what we weigh. So like if you put it next to the toilet area, I weigh like 3 pounds more than when I put it near the top. Which goes to tell you, don't hang your hat on a pound or 2 pounds.
Right.
I know myself that if I got on that scale every day and it was varying 2 or 3 pounds, I'd go crazy.
Right.
Like, why? So I just really feel good in my own skin, I guess. And I don't care if I weigh 130 or 135 or whatever it might be. What I care about is how I feel and how my clothes fit. How about you?
Yeah, no. I don't own a scale. And even if I've gotten to doctor visits and I just tell them, don't tell me.
Yes.
Because I actually I was a dancer, and so that was very prevalent back in the day when, you did weigh yourself, and not a full blown eating disorder, but it was always in the back of my mind. And so I don't want to know, because how I feel and how I feel in my clothes is just the way to measure for me.
Now, I will say, if you are someone who's like 300 pounds and you need to take off weight, a scale can be a very good thing. First of all, it can give you a lot of confidence to know that you're dropping the weight. It can be a good, indicator for you that you're doing the right thing, and therefore maybe your health numbers are going to change, like blood sugar, triglycerides, cholesterol, all of those things, your A1C, all that stuff. So it's not that it's a bad tool, but if you are just talking about fluctuating a couple pounds here and there, and you hang your hat and your confidence on those 2 pounds, forget about it. But if you are someone, we have a lot of members who have put up some crazy good success stories where I've taken off 100 pounds, my knees don't hurt, my hips don't hurt. Well, then yes,
and that's
a scale comes in handy. So it's not like it's a bad thing.
Right.
I just don't hang your hat on the fluctuation daily.
Right. Weigh yourself in the morning and maybe once a week if you are driven by that scale, I think. But to your point, Sam, that number is really difficult, even if, you're a normal, healthy person. But having a history, that number really dictates how you approach the rest of your day. You're like, oh my God, it's that big, I cannot do this. And then the rest of the day is just messed up. And that's not right.
Someone who weighs 120 pounds, 3 people can look different. Someone who weighs 140 pounds, you can look completely different based on muscle mass.
Yeah.
So you could have a 140-pound person wearing a size 10 and a 140-pound person wearing a size 4. All based on muscle composition. So it doesn't dictate exactly your size anyway.
Absolutely. How often do you guys work out per week? How long per day? And do you take rest days?
Okay, well, I work out less.
I have to go to the bathroom now.
I went through a phase where I taught a lot more classes or did a lot more. I'm 55, and what I've noticed is I can still work out, and I can still work out hard, and I still use my heavier weights, and I still do a lot of things. But I have noticed that inflammation happens faster with age, depending on your age. And when I am inflamed, I probably weigh more. I feel like my clothes don't fit quite the same. I don't have the energy levels. It's just irritating. I don't like the way I feel. I have found that a rhythm of working out an hour a day works for me. I typically work out 5 days a week. I usually take 2 rest days, and a rest day to me is like walking the dog. So for me, except for during the polar vortex, I will walk somewhere between 3 to 5 miles with the dog and sometimes in the afternoons, like when it is nice in Minneapolis, then I'll work out in the morning for an hour, but then I'll take a walk with the dog in the afternoon, and I just use that as extra movement. But I used to do 2 a days. I would be like, okay, I can teach 2 classes, or I can do that. And I've just noticed the other thing for me too is injury. I don't want an injury, because this is my life. So I don't want my knee hurting. I don't want my shoulder hurting. I mean, it happens. I mean, I've always got something that's maybe a little bit inflamed and needs some help, but that's me in my older age. Now I'm 5 years older than her. So I want to talk to you in 5 years and see.
She's really old, So listen, full disclosure, I teach a lot of classes, and Chris has asked me this before, and you know it.
Yeah.
I will teach 3 classes a day, but I will do probably out of the 3, maybe an hour and a half. I coach a lot.
Right. Yeah. That's like all
Right.
trainers. You can train people all day long. That doesn't mean you're working out.
Exactly.
So how many days a week do you work out?
I love to do at the moment, because we are in what we're in, and because it's so cold, and because if I don't exercise, I get really flat and low, and my endorphins are down. So I will go 7 days a week. But I have now decided I will do strength training. I will do bar classes, which lengthening, strengthening. It's my yoga. It allows me that time to stretch and to kind of get in tune, or more in tune with my body. I do a lot of, as I said, strength training classes, gluteus classes, that kind of thing. But I would say an hour and a half a day, 7 days a week. In the summer, not so much in the studio, a lot more outside, walking, not running. Right. Sam asked me if I ran. I don't run unless something's chasing me, right? But I want to be busy. I want to be riding a bike. It's not so much because, oh my gosh, I need to work out. It's more for my mentality or my mental health.
I think that's really good. And I think that's why we at Get Healthy UTV call it ADOR.
Yes.
Sam and
Yes.
I answer questions a lot. What is ADOR? We coined that phrase, active day of rest, because instead of just saying day of rest, where you think, okay, just sit on the couch all day. No, active day of rest. So my day off is a 5-mile walk because I'm just walking the dog and getting outside, and it does lift my mood. And it gives, like, if I sit around all day, I just feel low. I feel tired. It's hard.
Yeah. What is your go-to when your joints feel inflamed to help decrease that inflammation?
How about you answer that one too? Because you sometimes have
Inflammation?
Yeah.
with your foot, right?
Yeah. So, well, a little backstory. I had surgery 5 months ago now. And so I have also figured out for me, lots of water definitely helps. And then taking rest days. So Chris used to kind of tell me, like, you should be taking more rest days. I used to go hard 7 days a week, like wasn't a question. And now I definitely take at least 1 or 2 days off. Now, again, I don't sit on my couch all day long just because that's not for me. But something more low intensity as far as I do more stretching now. I do more foam rolling, a little yoga. I'm starting to do in my apartment for like 30 minutes on Sunday is just something that I do. But lots of water to decrease that inflammation. And I do take turmeric. I don't know if it's like a little mental thing, but I do feel like when I take that,
it can
Yes.
help.
it helps.
Yeah.
There are a lot of spices out there that can help with inflammation, reducing inflammation, and food. I mean, eating an anti-inflammatory diet is smart. Salmon, berries, turmeric,
Yeah.
pineapple has bromelain in it, and it's very anti-inflammatory. Getting lots of water, fruits and vegetables in general help with anti-inflammation. So I think eating clean, when you aren't eating a bunch of chemicals and artificial flavors and colors and stuff like that, it's exacerbated when you get older. Like if you were 30 and you could eat all that, by the time you're 55, you feel it in your joints. You feel like you're retaining water. You feel yuck. It's just bizarre, you know?
Heavy.
So food makes a difference, but also, like Sam, for me, I need to foam roll more. I roll on a little massage ball every day, but I definitely need to get better about foam rolling. And I also have one of those trigger point.
It's the best.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I have. What's mine called again? I can't remember.
You don't Hypervolt?
No, I don't have the Hypervolt.
Theragun.
Theragun.
That's
And
it.
it's like brrrr,
They're the
like
best.
a jackhammer going down your body, but it literally helps with inflammation. Man, I love that.
Oh, I need to look at that.
Oh, it's amazing.
I have started doing it almost every night, and I will notice like the days that I feel like, okay, that workout like is going to make me sore. I will still maybe be sore, but less sore when I do it at night. I've been trying to do it every night, and I do think it really helps.
It's addicting.
Will that work with like restless legs, do you think?
Restless legs?
Well, I go to bed and like literally my husband complains the next day every single day because I jump in the bed and I don't know, and I'll wake up.
We're learning so much about Shelley.
sorry.
I love it. So I bet that would help to release
Right,
some of the
magnesium, I've
tightness in the
tried.
muscles.
Yeah. Oh my God. And I would find it so difficult to find a position. I'll go to sleep and then he's like, he's sure I'm dancing all night long because I'm, but I don't know it. And then
So
I'll
maybe
wake up
for
and I'm
Mother's Day,
tired.
you ask for a
There you
Theragun.
Theragun. I need to do that. That's a great idea. I'll let you know how it goes.
Chris, can you talk about, or Shelley, how would you know when you're inflamed?
I think, well, muscle soreness is a real thing. I mean, and soreness usually comes from inflammation, and tearing up the muscle so that it can repair and rebuild to become stronger is a good thing. But inflammation, meaning the cells, all the cells in your body can swell up to, I think the number is like 6 times their size. So if you find cellular inflammation where just your body aches, joints can get inflamed where it just aches. Bloating is a sign of inflammation, brain fog, all that kind of stuff where you just feel, or water retention. So those are signs of inflammation. It has a lot to do with how you feel.
Right. You know a good pain, and then you know one that is just in terms of your muscle, you know, when you're breaking it down and building it up, and then you know when something's wrong. You feel it.
Yeah.
Your body is so fine-tuned that it'll tell you what's going on, and you need to listen.
Yeah.
How do you know if you are carrying more water weight than you should? Is drinking water the only way to get rid of it?
Well, your colon, your kidney, and your livers should be, and your liver, not livers, should be detoxifying all the time. They are your detoxifying organs. So if you are eating a healthy diet, it all goes back. The number one health decision you make every single day is what you put in your mouth, period. If you never exercise a day in your life, food is the number one thing. And then once you kind of get the food thing going, then the exercise helps to not only sculpt your body, but also make you stronger, keep your joints healthy, keep your range of motion so that you can have a quality life. But food. So, in terms of reducing inflammation, water helps you reduce and helps to flush your system. It'll help your colon, kidney, and liver flush, but also getting rid of chemicals, getting rid of preservatives, eating more fruits and vegetables. Did I say it enough? To uninflame your body. And it is absolutely amazing to me how many people I talk to where I say, well, do you eat veggies every day? And they literally, like, I would just say, of course, I wouldn't even think. And I have people who go, oh, yeah, I do. Like, I'll have a vegetable. And it's like, oh my God, like I eat vegetables all day, and I love fruit. And don't be afraid of fruit. Fruit is nature's candy. It comes with fiber and vitamins and, antioxidants. And so the sugar in fruit that is naturally occurring is not like added sugar that you find in every processed packaged food that you find on the shelf. So eat more real food, mostly plants, not too much. And that is your best creed.
Chris, what are your thoughts? At the moment, there's a big kind of, not movement, but this juice cleanse. Have you seen that?
Well, juice cleanses are always a big deal in January.
Yes.
Because people are like, new year, new me. But here's the thing with juice cleanses. Have you ever done one? No. Okay. So,
well, no, I've done a cleanse, but more like fruits and that kind of fruit and vegetable. But I haven't used. I'll have that for like breakfast and lunch, and then I'll have a simple dinner. But these are all day, 3 days, 7 days, and I'm not thinking.
Sure. Yeah, most juice cleanses will also include one meal a day. Like you juice cleanse, and then you should eat one meal. It's kind of dangerous to only juice cleanse. Like even that documentary, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead with Juice Joe. He says, he was being regulated by a doctor. He was eating like almonds and things to get, I think, the right amount of salt and things and fat in his body because it will screw up your body. But juicing is amazing in terms of getting a large number of nutrients into your body. To me, I juice more in the winter because I don't eat as much fruit. So it just feels, and your immune system is down, blah, blah, blah. But juice cleanses, you don't lose fat overnight. Just because you do a juice cleanse for 7 days and you go, oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds doing this juice cleanse. You'll gain that 5 pounds back
the next
probably
day.
in the next day when you eat, because all you did was kind of cleanse your body of food. I hate to even tell you what your colon can actually hold. We're not going there. No. But so you don't lose fat by just juice cleansing for 5 days. And I think that's where people get confused.
But maybe with the inflammatory side, maybe you kind of incorporate that for a few days, 2 meals, and then just kind of clean your body out.
Juicing in general is really good for a large number of nutrients for people who don't eat a lot of vegetables or don't, like the raw or the cooked or whatever. It's good, but to use it like as a fad to lose weight, no.
Okay, let's see. Can you discuss modifications for burpees for someone with knee issues?
What do you think?
Modifications for burpees. Yeah. Slower. I mean, you can still, knee issues. All right, you can still be in a plank. You can still walk it up to a low squat. Yeah. You can stand and reach, and you can come down. Am I like, can I get up?
Sure, show them. You're on camera. Let's show it. Be careful of your microphone.
Oh, yes. Watch me now. Hands down. Walk, 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 walk. Slowly up. Reach.
Love it. Now, what if you added a step platform so that like your hands went on the step?
Beautiful. And then your hands are here, and so your range of motion
elevated.
Not as deep. Right, and then you're there. There's so much you can do. Slow things down. You don't need to go through those burpees like a wild person.
We say all the time on our workouts, like, hey, if you're going slower than us, no problem. If you're going faster than us, no problem. And I say that all the time, like, because I always tell Sam she can, do things twice as fast as I can.
Yes.
Because I'm twice her age. But here's the thing. Own it. If you're like, oh, I'm going to start my burpees on a chair. Or up on a step platform to protect my back. Or even sometimes I will do my burpees on the floor. And then, if I've done too much that week, I will just transfer my burpees up to the step platform.
Switch it over,
just to give my back a little rest. If I've been doing burpees already 4 days in a row or something. Listen to your body, own it, get creative. Don't feel bad. Modifications, we say this all the time. No shame in the modify game. Everybody's body is different, and you have to just be happy.
Go with it.
Yeah.
And when somebody was asking what program do you start with as a beginner, I always think about you can do anything that we have on our Get Healthy UTV page. You can do any of the workouts, modify. And obviously the more you do, the more you learn the modifications, and then you're able to then listen to your body and say, okay, that's not working for me. I'm going to now switch to this. Listen to the body. That is, for me, if there's any takeaway, listen. It talks to you literally every day. And don't think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Because I do. I'm like, okay, something's wrong. I can't do that, so I'm going to do something else.
Well,
Listen to
and we
it.
see a lot of members who say, and I love this, I think this is a great idea. They do a workout and then they kind of journal like how it went. And then they go back and do the workout like a month later.
Oh.
And they'll say, I did Shelley's workout for the second time, but this time I did all the burpees, or this time I did
That's
all
right.
the push-ups, or this time, and you're noticing your gains in strength. And that's super encouraging.
You guys, there are so many questions.
I know.
Okay, why is it that I can lift heavy weights and get a good, strong workout, but I cannot open jars? My husband makes fun of me all the time about working out, but I still can't open jars.
That's beautiful. That's
Well,
that's the muscular.
wrist strength and arthritis and grip strength is completely different. I mean,
Right.
so training grip strength, there are a lot of sports that do train grip strength. If you and they do like literally use grippers, or they do wrist rolls. I know like hockey players do a lot of training of the wrist because with their hockey stick, they're so lucid. I mean, and tennis players and stuff like that. So I don't know. My kids are always like, I'll be like, Mom can't open that. Could someone do that? They're like, oh my God, Mom, you're so strong. Why can't you do that? I'm like, because it's just different.
It's different.
And give it to them. Let them open the jar and let them think that they're great. And you know what my advice is? Go to the store and get one of the jar openers and use that. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just because you lift weights doesn't mean that you can do everything.
Right.
We have somebody saying that she's in pretty good shape, but she can't do the sit up to stand up move, not from the floor or not from the step. What's a good modification?
So from the step, it's obviously going to be a little easier,
Yeah.
From the floor, it is tricky. And I remind people all the time from the floor, if you don't tuck your feet in tight to stand back up, like if you roll up and your feet are out, okay, I'll come to the floor now. Here we go. So I'm on the cement floor. But if you try to stand up like this with your feet far, there's no possible way I can stand up. The only way I could stand up is if my feet are in tight. And then you can use your hands. I crossed my feet that time, but I don't always, to push up. But if from the step is even hard, I would say get like a low stool and just like sit on it and stand back up. Just practice coming in and out of the chair, like a lower chair,
Or put a few more risers underneath the bench.
If you have them. You might not have them
yeah.
at home. But start with maybe a regular height chair, then go to like a footstool kind of a thing.
Something that's a little
and then
higher.
go down to the step stool. You don't have, or just do the roll-ups and roll back down.
And use your hands.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You get that tricep push too.
Yeah.
What do you do when you have a sore QL in one side of your lower back?
That is pretty common.
Yeah.
People like QL pain is like the number one pain in the low back, and it's hard. People are like, I don't know, it hurts like right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, that's your QL. So your quadris laborium like comes right around your sacrum. So you've got your L1 through L5, your lower lumbar, and then you have your S1, which is your sacrum. And that QL kind of connects everything right there. And those muscles get inflamed and tight from protecting your back when you're doing squats, and you're doing lunges, and you're doing burpees and all that stuff. And it's pretty normal, like for one side to inflame. Like for instance, when I'm driving in a car, when we're going long distances, I don't know what it is, but one side gets super tight. I don't know if I'm doing something weird in the car. I also have a prior injury on my left hamstring, and I think it kind of transfers up. So it's totally normal. But take a massage ball and lay on it on the floor, and go to gethealthyutv.com and go to free videos and sort by yoga flexibility, and go to the low back pain video that I did. I'm wearing camo pants. Find that video. I show you how to stretch on a massage ball, and it's a big difference
Beautiful.
maker.
Heat pads.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as a kind of a Band-Aid if you don't have the time for that, but massage with the
But one side is normal. I mean, a lot of times one side of your body, right?
Always.
Gets inflamed and the other side doesn't, or one shoulder's stronger than the other.
Yesterday, I had 3 classes that were all to do with glutes and weight training. I want to tell you, that was just ouchy last night. I went to bed and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this because I didn't want to do anything. I woke up this morning, it was great. I felt nothing. So sometimes the body just kind of gets through its own thing. If it doesn't, roll it out.
Right, roll it out.
Heat it
When in
up.
doubt,
Yeah.
roll it
Roll
out.
it out. The issue is in the tissue, right?
I love it.
I
Yes.
like that.
Stretches for inner thighs and hamstrings as well as IT bands.
Inner thigh, hamstrings, IT bands. Foam roller,
Yep.
definitely for the IT band
Yes.
and the hamstring, big time.
Yep.
Inner thigh foam rolling is harder.
Yeah.
If you have a tiger tail, which is kind of like or a rolling pin, your kitchen
Yes.
rolling pin, you can roll out your adductors. You can also do like, the seated butterfly pose. You can also get a Theragun. Shelley's going to get one. I use my Theragun.
So do I.
Right.
It's freaking awesome.
Pigeon pose is also, I love
Pigeon pose is great.
that.
Yeah, any kind of a twisted side like this.
And if you're on the floor crossing over and you pull that leg towards, you get into
Yep.
that IT. There's so many out there. Actually, if you have no idea, get Healthy UTV or YouTube video. I mean, just Google it.
There's so many.
There's so
but we
much,
have a
yeah.
lot of recovery stuff on in the free video area.
We just released a 10-minute stretch and flexibility with me, and there's a lot of hamstrings in that one. So, but there's also a bunch of other ones on there.
It's a great 10-minute stretch, though. I was going to just say that. It literally just released this week, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's brand new. And after Sam's foot surgery, she has really been diligent about her stretching, and it's a really great video. Hey, I also wanted to mention something else that we wanted to talk about real quickly. I know we have a million questions, but we do have an area of the website called Free Challenges. If you are a member, they're free to you because you are a member. If you are not a member, they are free. It's a flavor of Get Healthy UTV for you. So if you want to try a free fitness challenge, if you're listening to us and you're like, okay, I'm ready for a challenge, we have a whole slew of different ones. Just click on that link on the screen, depending on what device you're using, and you can check them all out. We have one in particular that Sam and I were just looking at the other day, which is the body weight challenge, right?
Yeah.
And it's a 14-day?
Yes, 14 days.
It's a 14-day body weight challenge. And I was looking at it, I'm like, gosh, we put that together last year. And I started looking at it, I'm like, wow, it's all full-length videos. They're all like 30 to 45-minute videos for free.
Yes,
So
and a lot of them are gold workouts. So
free gold workouts, 14 days worth of workouts. So if you are not a member, that would be a really good flavor of what Get Healthy UTV is about for free.
Yes.
You have to enter through you have to download the calendar and use that link. It is a special link that gets you to the videos for free. But there are other challenges that, maybe you'd like a free challenge. Now, if you are a member, also look at those 28-day calendars challenges, because basically you can go in the calendar area and be like, I want to focus on HIIT for the month of March, or I want to focus on bar for the month of March, or I want to focus on, we have so many different flavors. So make sure you're checking out the free challenges and the calendars.
And if you're watching this on Facebook right now, we just dropped the link into the comments for those challenges. A lot of you are like, where are they found? The link is in the comments. So our back end is working through all of that for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Bosu Ball, because we just did a Bosu workout. How do you get off safely while on the hard side? I don't want to injure my ankles by having them roll or twist.
So the Bosu, do you like the Bosu, Shelley?
I love the Bosu, and the workout you girls did just was inspirational. So thank you.
Well,
I need to do one with you.
Well, we'll probably do another Bosu. Maybe we'll have Shelley lead that one.
There you go.
So when you are on dome side down, it is tricky. I mean, hold on to a counter or a chair, or just be super mindful. You have to, anytime you're using your balance, you have to be mindful. What I do is, because it'll immediately tilt forward or back, is I step off and I bend my knees.
Yep. Yes.
You don't want to be straight. So you bend your knees to lower your center of gravity, which is going to help with your balance. And I step off and then I immediately get that other foot off. So you just have to think about it. It takes practice. Yeah.
And depending on where you're working out, if you have something nearby, like if your couch is right there, just grab it. That's also another way to kind of keep those ankles nice and strong.
My youngest, who is 24. Okay, so when we first, we had a Bosu Ball when he was little, so they've been around for a long time. And he used to use it like a trampoline.
Oh yeah.
He would put it on the edge of our couch, and he would use it like a springboard and flip onto our couch.
There you go.
Like, oh man, that's not the right use.
He thought it was fun though. Okay, Cheryl is asking, can you do searches instead of scrolling through each page to find a particular workout that you would like to do? For example, looking for bands or medicine ball workouts.
You actually can use the search bar. So we don't have a category for bands and medicine ball, but if you type in medicine ball in that search bar, up will come anything that was tagged in the back end with a medicine ball. I've done it before actually, because we were looking for a few medicine ball things, and up popped like 6 medicine ball workouts. So yes, use the search bar. If you're looking for all the walk and sculpt videos, because we have like 4, 5, 6 of them, just type that in, or, and you'll find that workouts.
And we also had a few other questions as far as searching on the website. So if you're looking for length of time, you can always either go to your gold workouts or workouts, sort by type or sort by length. So if you're only looking for a 30-minute video, go to that sort by length, 30 minutes. You'll find all of them that are under the 30 minutes.
Yep. Shout out to a friend of mine, Corin. I'm sure she's probably not listening, but back many years ago, she came to me and she said, Chris, I have little kids. When they walk out the door, I need to just search by 20 minutes. I just want to see the 20-minute videos. I don't have time to search it. And I was like, girl, that is a great idea.
That is beautiful. Yeah. Great. I mean, not many people have 30, 40, 50 minutes, 60 minutes even.
Right.
And I know a lot of people have been asking for 60 minutes, but it's a hot, take 2 30s and double them up.
Exactly.
Kind of a fun question. Do you guys eat bread or bagels, or is it best to stay away from them?
I do not eat bagels. I love bagels. I love the smell of them. I love how they look. I mean, I'm that kind of person that makes my son a bagel, and I'm like, I don't eat them. I think the reason why was when I was pregnant with my first child. We had moved to Florida, and I discovered bagels, and we moved from South Africa, and I was like, oh, okay, this is great. I'm pregnant. I can do it. Well, 50 pounds. And, I was 3 months later looking at, I just, for me, and I can't do anything. I don't do anything on the small. It's got to be all or nothing. I love a good piece of rye toast bread, peanut butter, and actually that lately has been my go-to.
A piece of like grain toast.
Yes, grain toast with a smear of peanut butter. It's so good. It just gives you that big up. Bagels, I can't stop at them at one. So
you don't do bagels?
No,
I don't do bagels either, because same thing. It's like I'd want to eat the whole bagel.
Yes.
I just feel like so many bagels are so processed. They're typically white flour. And as I've gotten older, like I just try to avoid white processed flour. I know that it inflames me. Now, if I'm in a Mexican restaurant, am I going to eat the tortilla chips? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Of course.
Am I going to, eat an ice cream cone, and that cone is made out of, I'm sure, white processed flour? For sure. But on a daily basis, I just don't eat white processed flour. Now, I will eat grain bread. I love whole grain bread. Like I love Ezekiel bread, or bread that almost is just all seeds.
Oh,
my friend just gave me a recipe for what it's called seed bread.
Oh,
it's
you need to put that on the website.
Yeah,
please,
it's like
Chris.
6 kinds of seeds in a bread, and she bakes it. She said her, grown kids in their 20s absolutely love it. Her husband loves it, but she smears it with avocado or a nut butter or something. I love that. That for me is great. I love like a good tortilla because I love Mexican. But I don't eat bread on a daily basis. I just decide. Plus, I read that book, Grain Brain.
Yeah.
And it's like grain has changed.
Yeah.
You really have to make sure it's non-GMO. You want to be as close to the, to the natural grain as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But grains in general are not bad for you. They're full of good vitamins. You just have to be smart.
The right ones.
Yeah.
How about you, Sam?
I do not eat bagels. I stay away from gluten. We have, my sister is celiac, so kind of adopted that, but I will still eat like tortilla chips, and if I can find a good, like I do gluten-free bread. Again, you just have to be super careful. I just feel super heavy after I eat something that dense.
Right.
Like a bagel. So no, but I still eat bread and stuff like that.
What's so interesting is if you go to some of these fast food restaurants and you look at like their sandwiches, I'll use Panera as an example. Mm-hmm. Like you look at one of their sandwiches that has like 1,500 calories and you're like, oh my God, how is that even possible? Over 50% of the calories is in the bread. It's the way they make the bread, what they put in the bread. If you take the bread off, what's inside that sandwich is really, really good. So I always think about that. Like I love open face sandwiches. I'll even just take the top off.
Yes. And just have it like that.
I love it.
I love
one
like
slice.
sandwiches even just with the lettuce. Like it's so good.
Oh, yum.
Let's see. Recovering from tennis elbow. It still hurts with push-ups and some other exercises. Do you have suggestions?
Tennis elbow, the Graston method is by far the best way to cure tennis elbow. It's basically taking like a butter knife and like you're stripping that tendon. And physical therapists will do it for you in their office for, I don't know, $100 each time you step foot in there.
Yep.
It's hard because that's probably the best way to get rid of tendonitis, tennis elbow.
Yep.
You can wear one of those bands, like you can find them probably on Amazon, but on the internet, where it's like a Velcro band. So what you're doing is by going like this, you're shortening the tendon, so the pain can't get as long. I've seen people use the bands. I do have a friend who just started a company a year ago called Stay Active, staactive.com. And it is a device that you literally put on your arm and it does the Graston method for you.
Oh, fabulous.
Now,
Isn't that genius?
I tried it and it hurts. Like you can turn it up or down. Like it is literally like someone taking a butter knife and going like this for 10 minutes because that's what cures tennis elbow. And the first time I tried it, I was like, holy cow. And he turned it down for me. Now, it's not cheap. It's like $250 for this device. But if you bought it and shared it with others or whatever, it is a game changer for tennis elbow.
And it's 2 visits to the doctor, basically.
I was going to
So
say,
you know what? If you suffer from that, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Stay
for
active.
sure.
Is that it?
Stay Active, staactive.com.
Beautiful.
People are asking if we have any blooper reels from some of our
I saw
videos.
that and I laughed. Well, we don't because we're perfect. But everything is real, right?
Right.
Do we
We're real
have blooper
time.
reels?
I don't know. I mean, we do giggle a lot, and we do struggle with, some of you guys say you love when we banter. Some people say you hate when we banter. We can never please all of you.
Right.
But we do enjoy each other. I mean, every single trainer for Get Healthy UTV, I have some connection to that I met through something here in in Minnesota.
Right.
So we have a lot of like funny things.
We do, and we like to have, and I know some people, because I think everybody works out differently, but I think some people are aggravated maybe by the chit chat and that kind of thing. Personally, I find it so much easier to get through if there's just a little laugh or a little chit chat saying, yeah, I'm feeling it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die or whatever. You need that camaraderie, right? But in terms of bloopers, you see it all. I mean, what you see is what you get. If we land on the floor and we're huffing and puffing, we are blooping.
Right. Or if our timer gets screwed up.
Oh, yes.
Or this or that. There's kind of a fine line. Like obviously professionalism is super important to us. But like there are some, you might see some programs where everyone's a Barbie doll and everyone just does everything perfectly. And that was kind of the way that we did videos back in early 2000. Like I used to fly to LA and make these videos and everything had to be perfect. And the people behind us, we spent 2 days of rehearsal and they did everything perfect and blah, blah, blah. And now it's a little more like, this is who we are. This is the way, the social media has kind of had a lot of people now present themselves as they are. Right.
Yep.
And we like it. So we're making mistakes all the time.
Right. And fitness is not perfection. You look at us and the hair maybe falls down and, your shoes come undone and your pants are not doing what they want to do. But that is the reality of life. It's not beautiful.
Every workout has a blooper in it.
Seriously, look for it and then let us know what it is each time.
You might be able to find them. If the music isn't loud enough, Chris is not happy. Any new insight on new workouts programs that we are working on at Get Healthy UTV?
We have a lot coming up. Everybody really liked your athletic bar, Shelley, at the fitness weekend.
Oh, it's one of my favorite formats. I seriously love it. It makes me feel so strong. And I feel like I'm a ballerina. I am not a ballerina, but you just feel all the supporting muscle groups.
So we have an athletic bar coming up with you.
Yes.
We also, I'm just going to put it out there that Sam and Shelley are going to be doing dance videos. Okay. So here's the thing I want you all to know. Sam is a professional dancer. She was a D1 dancer.
Pastime.
She's got moves. I've seen her.
She danced her whole life in competitive dance. She can pick up dance like nobody's business. Shelley is a lover of dance and can dance and attends dance class. And I've seen her shake her booty and she is good. Now I love dance. I have no training. I've never been a dancer. I am real good at like punching a bag, but dance, no. So I'm in the background for dance, like way over across the room. But I've been begging these guys to do dance. Leah is a dancer also. And Leah has done some dance. She's a technical dancer. But these two like to do a little
We like
goofy
to
fun
get
dance.
down.
So that is coming in the next, what do you say? Is it in
2
the next
weeks.
2 weeks?
It's in,
Oh, no, middle of
it's
March.
middle of March. So
Yes.
we're
Middle of
gonna
March.
do some planning and
A lot of
some-
planning.
And there could be some bloopers going on.
There will be.
There will be bloopers.
There will be.
Yep.
So join in on the dancing fun. I mean, and it depends. Like I have one of my sisters. I come from a big family. Her thing is dance. She's like, if you had more dance, Chris, I would do it every day. I like to dance. That's her thing.
There you go.
So we're bringing in dance.
Yep.
We just did the Bosu. We've got JC doing his hit mixer with you.
Yes, on Monday. I'm
On
so
Monday.
excited.
So JC is our new male trainer. His forte, he created his own. It's his own signature format where he does meditative exercise, self-awareness, yoga, and then throws in plyometrics and hit in the middle. It's
excited.
literally like going to church, baby. It's awesome.
It is.
You feel refreshed. So we've got that coming up. What else do we have on the schedule? Sam usually knows.
Kickboxing, bar, walking.
Walking, we have more
Indoor
walking
walking.
coming because you guys, that is probably our most popular videos are the walking. They get the most views. And indoor walking, you guys, is marching. So don't think that it's just for people who aren't fit or whatever. Like when I teach a walking video, because this at its essence is walking. But when you start adding in other moves and you're doing knee lifts and you're doing different things, like all of a sudden you're sweating. It's fun. It's not too complicated.
Sam, she was dancing there. Did you see?
See,
I was not
She had a
dancing.
step touch. She's in.
But so we have that. What else? I'm trying to think of what else because a lot of things that you guys asked for. We just threw that Bosu in.
We have a hit
More steps.
Yep.
People want more steps.
strength.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have another pyramid.
We have more pyramid power coming. I think you're doing a pyramid kickboxing.
Yep.
Yes.
And we also have split days coming up. We did split
I
days
love those.
about a year ago.
Yes.
So a lot of you asked for old school strength training where it's like leg day one day, back by try, shoulder, chest, that kind of thing. So we have that coming up.
Favorites.
Yeah. And those are all
Absolute
gold
favorites.
workouts. Now, we do have a premium video shoot coming up too.
Yep.
And that we're doing a whole bunch. We're doing like one bar, one kickboxing, one strength, one yoga. So we have a bunch of variety coming for that too.
Absolutely.
Oh, a lot on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yes. Chris, a lot of people have asked, do you pull stats as far as like what's the most viewed workouts, which ones
We
don't?
absolutely do. And sometimes, we have to really pull stats from just like the last few months too, because obviously a workout that's been on the website for 4 years might have more views than a workout that just was put on last month, right?
Yes.
So we do look at recent views too.
Yep.
And that's something we were just going to actually pull the numbers for what was watched in the last year, just to kind of see. But walking, you guys, walking and kickboxing are always at the top.
They're at the
We're
top, yeah.
always
Go-tos,
so surprised. So those are both such, and cardiovascular exercise, you and I both, we all love cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anyone ever tell you you don't need cardio, because if you have a heart inside your body, you need cardio. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women in America.
Woman, yeah.
Yep.
Quickly becoming the #1 killer of men too. Heart disease, you can't always necessarily say you're not going to get it, but my goodness, exercising that heart is definitely, something that helps you better the chances of not suffering. You're supposed to get your heart pumping 150 minutes a week. It's not only for weight loss, is I guess what I want to say.
not at all.
Cardio is not just about losing weight and losing calories. It's about mental health too. So like we love our walking and our dance and our kickboxing because for us, like that gets our heart rate up and I'm sweating and I feel euphoric and it's super fun. But of course, you also need strength training because that is the secret to aging.
Right. You need it all. And as long as you're mixing it up, I think in life, as long as you get in a great combination of the strength and the cardio for you, because it's very easy for us to sit here and say, okay, what do you do? How many strength days a week do you do, Chris? 3?
Right. Well, and it depends because I like our combo type classes. So
Right.
I'm doing strength like 4+ days a week
Right.
because
With
I
the
like
cardio.
the combo. Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's what works for you. The most important thing is that you walk out of your class, you walk out of your workout, and you just feel accomplished.
Right.
You
We
need
call them
that.
classes because we're such group
I know,
fitness
listen
people.
to me.
But we're
I'm
talking
aging
about
myself
like each workout
as
that you
we
do.
work out here.
We want you to be done and be like, yeah, right?
That you just crushed that.
We were doing a workout at, when was that, Sam? When my oldest son was home. Remember? And the 3 of us did a workout? And,
the second shutdown.
yeah, second shutdown. Okay, so
like-
it must have been around Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say
And
November.
so Sam and myself and then my oldest son, who was home from LA, we told him, we said, join in with us. We were doing a workout in the basement on the Roku, you know.
Shelley was in it. I think it was a pyramid one.
Oh, we might've been doing yours.
Oh, okay.
Where we were working out with Shelley on the TV.
I love
On the
that.
TV.
And so we did this workout and it was hard. I mean, you know, but Sam and I are used to it. Well, Nick was kind of dying. Like he was like, oh my God, because he doesn't do that kind of thing every day. So for those of you who are conditioned to doing all this stuff, feel good about yourself. Like you are strong.
Right. Not many people can do what you do.
Yeah, right.
Seriously. And never, ever, ever compare yourself. You have so many people, and I do it all the time. You know, I'm next to Sam in class, and Sam is going absolutely wild, and she's flying, and she looks amazing, and I'm looking like I'm a drowned rat. I'm 50, and Sam is late 20s.
29, yeah.
There she is. So allow for that, and allow for that. Oh my gosh, I feel so great. I did amazing things today. Check.
I do think with age, one of the best things about age is you lose that desire to compare. I think, you know,
I got to get there. I'm still trying.
When I was 40, I would stand next to someone like Sam and be like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. Or I need to do that. Now at 55, I'm like, isn't she adorable? I don't need to do that.
I suppose it's not. I mean, I look at her with admiration and I think, damn, I remember doing that.
Right.
I don't want to do it again because we've already done it.
But then there's the flip side of like us thinking like it's so cool that you guys are doing this every single day. And I'm like, okay, if I can do that when I am their age, like it is so like amazing. So it's the flip side on both sides because, you know,
you have somebody say to you, and I had it the other day in class, the girls were all whispering in class, listen to me, in one of our fitness workouts. Whispering. I'm like, hey, what's going on in the back there? They're like, well, how old are you? I was like, I'm 50. And they were like, and I didn't know whether it was like, wow, or, oh my gosh, she's old. But you know what? I took it as 50 and I'm still kicking butt. And that's what it's about.
And I have lots of friends. Most of my friends are in their 60s, you know, getting up in their 60s.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, 60 is the new 30, baby.
It is.
People
I love that.
are, the fact that we are also active and moving, we can feel really, really good about ourselves. So thank you so much for being a member of Get Healthy UTV because you are doing tough stuff. Like I say this all the time, like it is hard to commit to a workout routine and to get up every morning and push play or every evening. And it is hard to lift weights and it is hard to challenge your body. Those things are hard. But I was just telling these guys as we were walking in the front door today, it's 10 degrees in Minnesota, which is a heat wave. And I said, you know, I learned from one of my friends, he's a trainer, a fellow trainer. He said today on his Instagram, tough conditions create tough people, right?
Yeah.
Tough conditions create tough people. So whether it's 17 below or whether those of you in the South who are struggling with all that cold weather you're not used to, or whether it's a hard workout or whether tough conditions create tough people. So good for you for, you know, putting yourself out there and working hard. Yeah. An hour always goes so fast.
I know, that's not fair. I want to stay and have a little more, maybe a cup of tea.
Yeah.
If we didn't get to your questions, I'll try and pop in there and answer a bunch of them. We had a ton of questions today, so.
Yeah, we always have a ton of questions, which is why we try to, we do this every single month.
Yep.
We try to bring another trainer in if we can. And we, you know, Sam tirelessly answers questions in the group. And thank you to all of you who answer each other's questions too. That is really helpful because the answer does not always have to come from Sam or from me or from Shelley. Like you guys, you know how to help each other too. Anyway, thank you so much. Check out the free challenges, everybody, because there are some good ones. And that 14-day bodyweight challenge is perfect for if you're going on a trip at all, if you're getting out of town a little bit, try it out. Thank you to the Get Healthy UTV members. If you are not a member and want to know more about it, let us know. Send us a DM. And Shelley, thanks for joining us today.
It's an absolute honor. As always, we love you guys.
All right. And you are in the Friday workout next week. So you guys, if you want to work out live with Shelley next week, she will be live with you Friday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we pre-film on Monday, but we'll see you on Friday.
Yep. All right. Bye, everybody.
One.